Section 4 is all about meiosis. Some people call it meiosis, but it's tomato, tomato, however you want to go. So, for starting this, Mendel's principles that we went over, these require these two things, and it's an organism must inherit a single copy of every gene from each parent, and when organisms produce gametes, those two sets of genes must separate. So each gamete contains one set of genes, and I'll go more into those requirements as we go on. As a human, you have 46 chromosomes, and you get half of those from each parent. And this meets that first requirement because you get half of the chromosomes come from your male parent and the other come from the female parent. If you get half your chromosomes from your dad and half from your mom, say these left ones are from your dad and the right are from your mom, these form homologous chromosomes, and what that means is that these chromosomes are identical in terms of the size and the types of genes that are on them. So you see how each of these are all the same size. Well, in every part of them, they'll contain the same gene in the same spot, and that's what homologous is. Two matching sets of chromosomes. Any cell that contains 46 chromosomes, we call that diploid, and that's denotated by 2N. And that's any cell that contains both set of homologous chromosomes. So any human body cells, your skin, your hair, your fingernails, really anything that you can think of. And it'll be 2N, like I said, and for humans it'll say 46. I know mosquitoes have 6, so for them it would say 2N equals 6 chromosomes. How do you go from 46 chromosomes to 23 chromosomes? And that occurs through a process of meiosis, and that's division that reduces diploid cells to haploid cells. All a haploid cell, denoted by an N, is a cell that contains one set of chromosomes. So really all that is a sperm cell, egg cell, and in plants it's pollen. And so the N will equal 23 chromosomes. Meiosis is very similar to mitosis. They even kind of sound the same. But there are 3 differing things, really, that are important to note. Is that at the end of meiosis, you have 4 daughter cells that are haploid cells, and something occurs in prophase 1. It's called crossing over, and there are 2 distinct phases of meiosis. Noting that in males, when you're making the sperm cell, that yes, you get the 4 daughter cells, but in females, you only really get 1 egg cell that's viable. You still make 4 daughter cells, but these ones are called polar bodies, and they're really only there to help this one survive. So in prophase 1, I mentioned crossing over, and this is the process in which homologous chromosomes exchange portions of their chromatids. So all chromatid is just one side of a chromosome. So this whole thing makes up a chromosome, and this is the homologous chromosome. And so you have 4 total chromatids. And so in prophase 1, the chromosomes will line up and they'll cross over like that. That's why it's called crossing over. And we call this a tetrad, and this is a structure containing 4 chromatids. When these tetrads line up like this and crossing over occurs, when they split apart, part of the mom's chromosome and the dad's chromosome in the exact same spot exchange genetic information. And that's why if you were to get this chromosome from your parent, you would still get some traits and some genes from your mom's chromosome on your dad's. So when you take the sperm cell that has 23 chromosomes and an egg cell that has 23 chromosomes and they fuse, you get a zygote, and all that is a fertilized egg. And so that's the union of an egg and sperm, and that's how you get 46 chromosomes, because 23 plus 23 equals 46. So this is a lot shorter section. It's because I didn't really spend a lot of time going over the phases of meiosis. They're very similar to mitosis. We will explore that a little bit more, but you really only needed to get down that crossing over happens, where it happens, what it is. There's the end result of meiosis, which is 4 daughter cells, and that there are 2 distinct phases of meiosis. So this is the vocab. If you didn't get it, go back and get it, and try and fill out your vocab sheet for the rest of these. And as always, like, favorite, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.